Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rob Has a Podcast. We are here live after the triple eviction on Big Brother Canada 6. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and with me today, we have the whole crew and a very special guest. I couldn't think of anyone more appropriate to bring on for a triple eviction. We've got Kevin Martin here. Kevin Martin. How you doing, Kevin?
Hey, what's up, dude? Life's good. We're thriving. 2018 is going really well. And yeah, I'm excited. This was Big Brother has the ability to be the best show in the world, but it also has the ability to be the worst show in the world. Sometimes you watch Big Brother and what is this content? Like, this isn't worth my time. But then sometimes you watch it and you're getting goosebumps, you're cheering, you're yelling at your TV. Tonight, we had one of those good episodes. So it's amazing. I'm happy to talk about it all with you guys.
All right. Very, very exciting. And of course, we've got Melissa Denny with us. How you doing, Melissa?
I'm doing great. Kayla is still here. I'm very excited about it. While we did have some not so happy results for the second half of the episode, the first half of the episode was great for me, and I was really excited. So I'm very excited to talk about all of it.
And we couldn't do a triple eviction recap without Brent Wolgamott here. How you doing, Brent?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm also excited that Kayla's still in. You know, Taran, it's finally dawned on me today because I was really nervous. Like Melissa said before we started the podcast, I was really, really nervous. I wanted to see Dela and the trio survive, and I so rarely get what I want that I was kind of stunned when it happened. But I'm like, Brent, you've evolved into a showman's lover. Like, I think I'm just a lover, Taran. I'm a lover, not a fighter. You know.
You love love. You love love.
Yeah, that was the same thing that happened last year with freaking Kevin all over the place and stopping my Ika and Dimitri final two.
Dude, I ruined your optimal season so badly. I took your dream
but I'm getting it this time. See, it
makes me so happy.
It comes back though. See, it comes back. This year I'm getting everything I want.
I mean, I visualize those Ika Dimitri fans at home watching that finale and then being so upset. And I think about that before I go to bed every single night. It makes me
just put the finale recap podcast on repeat because Brent is so salty.
It was a really bad day. My internet was bad. These three bitches were against me. It was just
it's great.
All right. Well, we are very excited here to be talking about the triple eviction for Big Brother Canada 6. We have the chat room open on robhasawebsite.com, and you can send questions into me on Twitter at Armstrong Taran if you want to. And man, let's talk about this. Obviously, first, the front page story here. We have lost Johnny, and with him, we have lost Olivia. What's the eulogy for Johnny here? Is there anything he could have done, Kevin, from your perspective?
He could have twisted faster around with the planks and got the bridge. Yes. He could have won the competition. He could have won the competition. Johnny was in the spot I was going into the triple in season 5, where you can't get immunity through the HOH, right? He's on the bench feeling a little bit hopeless. Olivia could have won, obviously, but it was so crazy how fast that HOH ended. Everyone got the second question wrong, which is really, really bizarre. But yeah, once Olivia lost the first HOH in the triple eviction, the situation he was in, how hard he campaigned for the previous week for Kayla to leave, he was drawing to, like, he could have won the competition, and he was close. He was only a couple seconds behind Kayla, but there's no social strategizing that he could have done, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was so surprised that, sorry to cut you off, but I was so surprised that everybody said that Jesse said that Blood Brothers comment. That doesn't sound like something he would say at all.
And if anything, he was saying I'm woke a lot.
Yeah, but still, like, I don't remember anybody saying that. And I was like, that's a Marin thing, right? Like, that's a Marin thing. And everyone was putting Jesse, and I was like, oh, I guess, like, I have no idea what's going on here. And of course it was Marin. I don't know what they're all thinking.
We were streaming our reactions to the triple live on Twitch as the episode happened, and basically everyone on the couch was like, "Oh my God, Johnny has this. He has all 4 pieces." But then he starts to put the pieces into the structure, and he's having a lot of trouble doing that. And I really think that just cost him the win. Like, he couldn't fit that wooden plank into the slot, and that's it. That's all it takes, Brent, for Johnny to go home.
Yes, that's what life is about. You got to get it in the slot, Taran. I'm telling you, it all comes down to that. So he couldn't do it. And like Kevin said, there is no social strategizing that he could do to get himself out of the situation. He had one competition. Honestly, Taran, I really believe this. If he wins that veto, I think it was $100,000 veto. I really do. Because if he wins the veto, he's into the final 5. He can play for HOH and veto. And I'm sorry, he's beating those people. He just is. There's no two ways about it. This is a $100,000 plank. Lower the bridge, whatever the hell Arissa called it, opportunity tonight, and he blew it. So he's gone.
Yeah, and honestly, I think he might have Kevin to blame for this veto because this might be one of the competitions that they changed because Kevin was too good at it. So they made it a little less able. Like this was really just like almost everybody finished it around the same time.
Yeah.
This was just this was very much more luck of the draw than the previous competition. We talked about the competitions potentially changing because Kevin broke them so hard. Kevin, what do you think about that?
Well, thanks for the comments, of course. But I agree with what Brent said. If Johnny could have won this veto, he's into the final top 5 with 2 chances of immunity. We talk about this all the time, in that in the early stages of Big Brother candidates, your social relationships laying low. But when it gets to the back half, it is the game really switches to a gear where you have to be good at mental and physical competitions, more so mental. And it's really, really interesting that I thought there haven't been very many random competitions this year. It's been a very like top heavy. I mean, Erica won all of them, Johnny won all of them, the showmans. What is it? The final the trio, Will, Maddie, and Paris haven't won anything, and they're in the final 5. It's very, very top heavy. But I agree. I don't think production's like intentionally trying to change things. I think it was just a little bit of a twist on the challenge. But you're right. Johnny was really, really close. I agree. And if he won that veto, he would have been the favorite in the final 5, but he's sitting in the jury house. But credit to Johnny, how funny he's been recently. Not only is he like strategic, but he's there to make great television. When he gave like a wave and walked out of the catacombs, that was just amazing. It was very Cassandra-esque in my opinion. And it's cool. He's an amazing character. And if Big Brother Canada survives till season 9 or something, I mean, I think he's pretty high on the list for a second chance.
Oh,
I
yeah,
hope
for
so.
sure.
Yeah.
I think he's hilarious. He's so fun to watch, and he's so strategic. He's so good at making people believe really whatever he wants them to believe. And he's also very good at reading people and reading the situations. Like, I can't tell you how many times he'd be talking to someone, they walk the room and they were lying to me, or like, I know exactly that she's doing the opposite of that, or whatever. It was like he knew exactly what was going on around him, and it was so impressive how he was able to take that and turn it into, gold. Really, whatever he wanted to do pretty much was happening all game until now. And I just think that he was so great, and it's so sad. It's so sad to lose him, but at the same time, I loved the way he went out, and I loved how he was like, look, good game, guys. I want you guys to play hard, lie, manipulate, whatever you have to do. I want you to try for this. And I really like that sort of classy exit.
Yeah, Taran, even though Johnny was a little bit extra this week, and sometimes I don't really go for that for some people, I think it looks better on some people than it does on others. I'm glad he did, because he wasn't getting any credibility with production for his strategy. That was going to other people. Like, I mean, Johnny was totally invisible as far as production was concerned. Like, you saved yourself, even though you were totally targeted by the HOH, and you somehow came out of it with a 6-0 vote, but you apparently had nothing to do with that. And then they finally gave him some airtime tonight with his antics, which I'm a little bummed that they didn't give him more for his strategy, because he has everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Kevin, you've been in the spot Johnny was in. The enormous amount of pressure there. Like, what must Johnny have been feeling in that moment?
Oh, he's just crushed. I mean, he's very charismatic, and like it's obvious that. But once the adrenaline of the situation, wears off a little bit, he's gonna be devastated. Johnny seems like a pretty well put together dude. He's gonna do fine in life or whatever. But he was almost there, man. The final 7, he was definitely the favorite, and the triple comes up. His HOH was really, really interesting. And do you agree with him? So in his post-game interview, he was asked if he regrets putting up Ali during his HOH. He says, not really. If I did put up a Maddie or a Paris, Kayla would have stayed anyway. Is that true? Can we confirm that from the live feeds? Really?
Yes. I mean, I think Taran, tell me if I'm wrong, but from what I could tell, there was a moment in time where Ali went to Olivia and was like, okay, but this, she said, even if, they do put up Paris or Maddie, we have to do what Johnny wants here, and we have to evict Kayla. But that was only when she was feeling the heat of it may be her. And I think she was sort of trying to talk herself into, okay, everything's going to be fine. We're just going to do what Johnny says and we'll be fine. But no, I think once that he names Paris or Maddie as a replacement nominee, then Kayla joins with Ali and Olivia, and they evict part of the trio, because they were just as threatened by them as the other way around. Once Derek won that veto, there was literally nothing he could do to get Kayla out of the house. I mean, he did everything he could. I mean, in fairness to him, the vote flipped back and forth quite a bit. There were times when Will was definitely in his corner. Flash forward to tonight when Will's celebrating with Kayla, for God's sake, when Derek wins HOH. So I just feel like he was in a no-win situation. His game all came down to 2 vetoes tonight and the one from like 5 days ago. He needed to win that veto against Derek to ensure that his HOH reign went the way he wanted it to go. He needed to have all the power, and he let him win. And once he did that, all of his great work, Taran, was totally undone.
Yeah. I mean, I also feel like he did all the best work that he could do this week. And that really it was Allie who made it so that she went home, because I feel like Kayla was doing a great job making these like gigantic promises to the trip or to the threesome and telling them like, you guys I'm going to want you guys to go final 5. Like I'm final 5 with you guys. You guys don't need to promise anything back to me, but I'm taking you guys to final 5, and telling Paris directly, like, it's you and me, girl. It's you and me. Like, I want to take you. You are not going to hit that block, and like promising her everything. And then, and for a while it was flip flopping back and forth because they were like, well, Allie would do the same. We don't know. Then today, Paris went and talked to Allie and was like, hey, am I going to go up as a replacement nominee? And Allie she told her that she wasn't going to go up, but it was very hesitantly. And also she got kind of aggressive afterwards, saying like, it's really like bad. Like, I can't believe you put me in that position. Like, you shouldn't put me in that position.
She's
to have
so
to tell
terrible.
You that.
She was so terrible as a
yeah.
nominee, Melissa. I don't mean to interrupt you, but she was just freaking terrible all week. You saw that conversation that she had with Maddie where she goes to her for a vote, and Maddie is in the position of power for the first time in the game. So of course she's going to get a little catty with Allie, who has been coming for her. I don't even know why Allie's trying to deny that. And then to say, well, I don't even need your vote. Taran, like this conversation was just as bad the second time I saw it as the first time. Go ahead, Melissa. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you're totally right. She had these bad conversations with all the people who could have been saving her. I mean, I don't even know if she talked to Will. I don't even remember a conversation with Will. And then the conversation with Maddie, and then this conversation with Paris today, where Paris was like, she's like really mad at me now for asking that, which is not the way you want someone to feel about you when you're trying to stay in the house and you rely on their vote. So she, it really wasn't Johnny's fault. It came down to Allie and the fact that Allie was so aggressive, and that's what flipped the tide. And I think that, if it wasn't for Allie being the one on the block, Johnny might have stayed, because he did a great job of flip-flopping the house all week.
Yeah, I mean, Allie, what we saw in the episode, Allie saying to Maddie that she didn't need her, that's what kicked off the whole flip to evict Allie in the first place. Then what we saw with Johnny having that house meeting, that actually kind of flipped it back. And they were evicting Kayla for the most part. Again, they were flip-flopping back and forth like crazy all day long, every single day. However, the thing that ultimately flips it back onto evicting Allie is that she has another conversation today that Melissa mentioned, where she said to Paris, asked her, who would you put up? Who would you put up if a veto was used? And Allie goes, don't do this to me, Paris. Why are you doing this to me?
God.
And she got pissed at Paris.
It's like, just say it. Say whatever you have to say. This is the final moment.
Directly correlates to Allie being evicted tonight. If she doesn't do this, I think Allie stays in this house. But that being said, to cap off about Johnny, I don't think it ultimately makes a difference to Johnny, because I don't think he was even second in that veto. I think that even though he lost to Kayla in the veto, he still would have lost to somebody else in the veto. Derek HOH, he still goes home. But Allie, to move on to Allie, she just really cooked her own bacon there, Kevin. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's pretty wild that she didn't obviously come up and try to say something else. It is. I mean, think of the Allie, Olivia, Johnny relationship. They go bang, bang, bang in the triple eviction. Something went disastrous here, obviously, for Johnny to be the HOH. During Johnny's HOH, Allie is evicted, and then for the triple, obviously, to fall apart. But the trio obviously had an amazing good chance to stay during the triple eviction. I think the trio definitely made the right move. Now, whether they can beat Derek and Kayla at the final 5, there's some big competitors there, and like they have nothing on their resume. They have to find a win somewhere and evict Derek and Kayla if one of them wants to win. But in terms of voting Allie out, I think it was definitely the right decision. They had an amazing odds. It was 4 versus 1 in the triple eviction HOH. It's crazy.
Taran, I'm having a flashback. To Big Brother Canada 4, when Cassandra and Tim and Joel, right? Yeah, they all have HOH in front of them at the final 5. And all they have to do is beat Kelsey, of all people. And they don't. They don't do it. That's all they have to do is beat him. And even then, they have a second opportunity in the veto comp.
Oh,
We're back.
we just lost Brent in mid-sentence.
We lost Kevin, then lost Brent.
Not sure what's going on
I
there.
have the Canadian internet up here.
Something like that. I'm not sure where Brent was going with that, but yes, we are now in a situation where we have lost all three. Paris, or no, sorry, Ali, Olivia, and Johnny, and the final five is Derek and Kayla versus Paris, Maddie, and Will. And this is something we talked a lot about on the Twitch stream.
I got bounced off. Me?
I got bounced off too.
Brent got bounced.
I
I
don't know what I left off that, but you heard me.
Yes. Well, so now we have Dela versus the trio, and this is something we talked about on the Twitch stream, is that like the triple eviction, while very exciting to watch in the moment, the game is basically over. The strategic game is over. This is all about now who is going to win the competitions. Can Dela win out, or will the trio finally win some competitions and be able to kick Dela out? Kevin, you obviously know the competitions very well. You and Dimitri traded competitions back and forth. That's what Johnny and Derek were doing up until this point. You have to imagine that at least one of Derek or Kayla is going to make it to the final two at this point, don't you?
They're definitely the big favorites for sure. Yeah, in my own personal game, I struggled at some strategic and social things, but those competitions I nailed. I crushed them that was my bread and butter, to the point. And it's weird, the Big Brother Canada format, you really can just crush at the end. The social and strategic, it matters only for the first half of the game, and at the end you can really power through. So let's break this down. Going into the final five, Derek was the Triple HOH, so there's only 4 people playing. It is the trio and Kayla. I still think Kayla has a great shot to smash them. Maddie, Will, and Paris have shown nothing in terms of mental or physical strength the entire season. I can't believe Will is in the final five without a win. Like, where is his X factor? Where is his drive to get a victory? It has to come out now for sure. I think definitely Kayla is maybe a favorite to win at the final five. But like, let's say worst case situation. Let's say Kayla loses. Let's say Maddie pulls out a miracle HOH at the final five, puts the showmans on the block. One of them is still going to survive into the final four. And even if that happens, they're the favorite to win to the end. Like, Derek and Kayla have such high win equity in this game. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and to win out from Final Four all the way to Final Two is something that's been done plenty of times, even in Big Brother US. And now we've seen it happen from Final Eights to Final Two in Big Brother Canada. So it's very, very doable. And something else that we were talking about is that I think that if either Derek or Kayla are sitting in the Final Two against any of the trio, I think they're a lock to win. I think that Olivia, Ali, and Johnny are all voting for whoever of Dela is there, and then obviously the other member of Dela will vote for that person, and that's 4 right there.
I have a question for you guys. I've been following on Reddit, following on the live feeds, whatever. Let's say hypothetical situation: Derek, Kayla, and one of the trio. Let's say a Maddie. So it's the showmans and Maddie in the final 3. Does Derek cut Kayla? Does Kayla cut Derek? Have they talked about that? Do you think that's going to happen?
Kayla's mentioned it, but Melissa, go ahead.
They've talked about it, but then recently Kayla said to Derek that she wants him in the final and she'd keep him there. So they've said 2 different things. So I don't know what they would actually do.
That would be obviously an interesting decision, the John and Etta decision, but
it would be. I think Derek needs to more than Kayla does, especially considering what Johnny said in his exit interview. That Johnny was already convincing Olivia to vote for Kayla over Derek, and I fully believe that he would be capable of convincing Olivia and people like Ryan to go along with that as well. Add on top of that Kayla's natural jury management, which hasn't been the greatest, but neither has Derek's. So I do think that Kayla probably has a leg up over Derek if they both make it to the end. So Derek is the person that needs to cut Kayla.
Yeah, Kevin, you better be glad that Johnny's not on your jury from last season, because, a straight white male of privilege. No, we're not voting for him. That just fits the classic mold. It just bugs me. Like, if you don't want to vote for like that kind of person, I sort of get it. But just to put it out there in the universe, like that's the reason you're not voting for him, really just galls me. I wish he wouldn't. Look at Derek has actually done some really great things. He's won me over, honestly, because he's right up there with a lot of people who get brought into the game. They're a little bit fame whores. They're Instagram people who want followers, and he somehow is really nailing these carnival-esque games that Big Brother Canada has to offer, and even the mental comps too. So, I mean, while everyone else is getting the question wrong, he's getting the question right. So I'm kind of liking what I'm getting from Derek right now. I don't know about the rest of you.
No, I am too. And I think it's totally unfair to compare him to Matt from BB19. I don't think he's anything like him. Derek cares about the game. Derek's actually playing the game. He has a really good social game.
It's fire.
Like, he also was able to hold his own in these confrontations with Johnny and Allie this week. I think that he didn't just back down. He didn't, look like an idiot. He actually came out on top in some of these conversations. And the fact that he was able to go to each individual person and I mean, he was one of the main reasons Caleb was able to stay. I just feel like he's done so much work, and I don't think he's as useless as everybody says. I think they're just comparing him to these big powerhouse players that we have this season, which I love that we have those players. But if we were to throw him into the BB19 house, he would be everyone would love him. They'd think he's this amazing strategist. And it's just because we're comparing him. I mean, I'm not saying he's an amazing strategist, but look at the people in BB19.
Right.
He's nowhere near like that.
God, that was a painful season. Oh,
it was so bad.
We had to work.
We were saying I don't even know how we got through it.
You ever just quit halfway through the season? You guys are all right, drop the mic. And I can't do this anymore. It's over.
I felt like it during that
That's
season.
basically what Jordan did, right?
I mean, he really did. Credit to him. I think Jordan's crushing.
He got out just at the right time.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the trio for a second? So in the trio, if someone from the trio wants to win, they have to be versus another member from the trio. Like we said, if Derek or Kayla makes it to the end, is Maddie drawing dead? Can Maddie win versus Paris or Will?
That's what I was just thinking too, because I think that I've been talking about I think Maddie is one of the more likely people to be there in the end, and just being there is good, right? Being there, especially in a season like this where people change their minds all the time, anybody could possibly win. However, I do think that the fact that Maddie was used as the pawn here meant that she was the most expendable of the trio, means that she was the one that made the worst decision to keep Dela in the game. And I think any possible respect that could have been garnered for Maddie probably went out the door when she was used as a pawn. I think that Dela will push for Paris to win over Maddie, and I think that Johnny will push for Will to win over Maddie. I think Maddie is probably drawing dead at this point. Brent, what do you think?
Although,
It's okay. I don't really have a strong opinion on it, Melissa. I'm a little bummed about it though, because I really enjoy Maddie, and I really enjoy what I'm getting from Maddie lately. I didn't enjoy her early on, but I am enjoying her now. And obviously a Paris Maddie final two would be a dream for me, but also a Paris Kayla final two, Kayla Maddie final two. All these really hot final twos that I would really like. And
Brent, what's your worst? What final two would make you bring out the veil for finale night?
Probably Derek versus Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, after such a great, strong female season, to have it be Derek versus Will would be
that would be
tough.
Such a bummer.
And Derek has played a mighty game.
Get evicted.
But Will has not given me what I wanted. So yeah, that would be tough. That's the darkest timeline, Kevin.
Oh God, don't even make me think that.
I do actually think Will has the best shot of any of the trio to beat Dela, because I do think that in that scenario, there's a chance that Johnny does campaign for Will over Derek, just because Will was aligned with Johnny. However, Will betraying Johnny in this moment and keeping Kayla might be a reason for Johnny to say, actually, you know what? Never mind. I'm not going to do this out of loyalty. I am going to campaign for Derek, who pulled one over on you. So I actually just talked myself out of that. So yeah, I mean, and it's interesting to think of who wins between Will and Paris. That's the true competition here within the trio. Obviously, I do think that Johnny is more likely to campaign for Will over Paris, but Dela, I think, is more likely to campaign for Paris over Will. I think that could lead to a tight vote. I know that Ryan felt very close to Paris. I think he is likely to vote for Paris. That's three right there. So I don't know, Melissa, what do you think?
Paris versus Will, I think Paris wins.
Yeah,
I think there's enough people that would want Paris to win. And I also think that Paris could, first of all, articulate herself a lot better in a final two speech and questioning scenario. And I also think that she'd be able to explain a lot of her game moves. So I think that she would have logical reasoning behind everything. Whereas I feel like I don't see Will having that sort of logical reasoning behind really any of his moves.
Well, here's the thing. Actually, thinking about it, I think it's likely that Ali, Liv, and Johnny vote for Will, which means that the swing vote is Maddie. I think Maddie decides the winner between Paris and Will.
And I think Maddie would vote for Paris unless it ends poorly.
Exactly. I think as it currently stands, Maddie votes for Paris, but maybe Paris betrays Maddie in order to take Will, and that could flop it. So there's some amount of intrigue there if the trio does manage to take out Dela.
Taran, I wanted to bring up what you said last night, it was a roundtable on Tuesday night, where you said that making this move for the trio, specifically Paris, betters her odds of surviving the triple eviction, which she did, but it also lowers her overall equity toward a win at the end. And since you're playing for $100,000, there's no money for fourth place or whatever the hell. So I feel like maybe this is the wrong move, even though I loved it. I'm looking at the alternate timeline where she evicts Kayla, Ali stays in the house, Derek still wins the HOH likely. And I mean, in that scenario, I kind of don't know what he does, but he obviously still goes after Johnny, and Johnny loses the veto. So Johnny goes home, but I don't know who that second person is, and I guess
I think he might go after someone from the triple from the threesome, because
and it wouldn't be Will.
Pissed at them. But at the same, so maybe he'd go after Paris because she had the most influence anyway. And if they were like promising, like, we'll do anything, and she still went against it, maybe. But then also, like, with the way Ali was acting all week towards Kayla and Derek, I mean, if I were them, I might be pissed at Ali. So I don't know. Like, it really could go either way. But I think that initially when we were looking at this, it really didn't make a lot of sense for them to keep Kayla in the game. But I feel like as the week went further, it just became more and more clear, at least if I was in the house in Paris's position, it became more and more clear that it's better for their game to keep Kayla as long as Kayla and Derek stick to that deal. But they were promising everything on it, and I would believe them at that point. And Ali wouldn't promise anything. So obviously, if they're not going to promise anything, if they're not even going to give you a promise, then I would, get them out.
Yeah, I feel like, Taran, you have to give yourself the opportunity to win. And Paris, I think, rightly observed that she might have been evicted if she didn't make this move. And she maybe her in game is a little tougher now, but she's got a shot. And she wouldn't have had that if she's out of the house.
Well, speaking about the deal that Dela made to keep the trio safe and to target Liv over them. We talked about how this would, like, I was saying on the roundtable, are they really dumb enough to do that? Because why not take a shot at a tight threesome and leave Liv, who is not really any better than the other three in competitions? She's 1-1, which is something, but she's also not as tied to them. And Liv is pretty easily swayed. If one of Dela leaves, I could see Liv easily teaming up with the remaining person, whereas the trio would definitely not do that. Kevin, do you think it was a mistake for Dela to not turn around and backstab the trio after they saved them?
A little bit, yeah. Credit to Godfrey. Godfrey sent out a really eloquent tweet that pointed out that Kayla perhaps should have used the veto to save Liv and then send out a Will or a Paris during the triple eviction, which is really, really interesting. Because then going into the final 5 HOH, is that, oh, Olivia, I just saved you. Come work with us. It would be maybe because right now Kayla and Derek are really relying on that Kayla final 5 HOH. So it would have been interesting after all that to go down, because Kayla didn't even really think about it. She's on the couch. No, I don't want to use the veto. But if she would have saved Liv, if she would have extended that hand and say, hey, Liv, come work with us and we'll get out the other two, they might have had an edge there. But I mean, a lot's going on. They just successfully won the HOH, which was the big moment. So I can't really fault them. That's getting a little cute. If you're starting to do a lot of that, it's getting a little cute for sure.
Yeah, I feel like it's so hard because you've made these promises and swore on your family and swore on your cats or whatever. And I feel like it's Big Brother and you're supposed to go against it, which I mean, at the same time, if she uses the veto, the rule was that if they can help it, they're not going to do it. But at that point, they can't help it. Derek has to put someone else on the block. So there you go. Technically they're not, betraying their deal. But at the same time, it's they were just so desperate to stay at that point, and they were going to promise anything, and they wanted to be true to that promise, which at the same time, I feel like it's good to stay true to that sort of promise, just because it was it doesn't really hurt them to keep the trio around because they're really not that great. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows what's going to happen now, but you know.
Yeah, I feel
And
like it was a little bit like we're the winners now, even though there's only one winner, because you saw them all celebrating there at the final five when they're all hopping up and down, and I'm like, why y'all celebrating? Did you win something that I didn't know about? You know? But I mean, I feel like that's kind of why they did what they did. It wasn't. I think maybe strategically, perhaps there was a better play, Kevin, and it's a good point that Godfrey makes. However, I think practically speaking, it's a really cold thing to have. I mean, to do something like that. I mean, you really have to have an ice cold heart to be able to do something like that, which Kayla does have.
There's no morals. Come on.
I know. I would have stand Kayla even more if she did that.
Yeah, I would have. I was talking during the episode, like that's like a Bruno move where you save Zach out of nowhere. Like that's out of nowhere. I would have loved it. I think that's a winning move. However, given everything that transpired, I do think that you might be playing with some jury votes there that maybe you don't have to. Because as we talked about, I think right now Dale is a lock to win as long as they're there. But if they betray the trio like that, they may lose those votes. And and I could see Liv beating one of them in the end. So so that's something to consider as well when you're thinking about the move.
I think all three of the trio would not vote for them if they got to the final. Like they'd be like, "No way, are you serious?"
Really? They would be that salty for sure.
I think so.
I think
I think they're especially Will. Can you imagine?
Oh yeah, Will for sure.
He comes across as a very, very salty.
He's a toddler. He's a toddler, Kevin.
Get that floater, that blonde floater out of here.
Yeah, it's like, okay, God, Olivia's been playing a great game. You're doing nothing.
Yeah. So like Will at the start of the season, we was showing in a lot of like personal moments. He does have the son story, which is obviously a cool story. But recently, I think it's starting to wear, even on the casual audience, that he really is kind of salty whenever something doesn't go his way. He likes to get angry and throw a little temper tantrum. So I think Will's stock has dropped in the casual community.
Yeah,
definitely, and for good reason.
Agree. Yep.
Speaking of stock, I just lost 4 shares, four whole shares of stock in the stock watch.
No!
I'm waving at you over here with all the Paris stock that I own. Although I did lose a bunch of Olivia
I
stock.
just put another one on Olivia because we all thought Olivia was going to be like the safest one for sure.
Right. Guys, I bet money on Ryan to win this season. He's sitting in the jury house right now. So get out of here with your fake stocks, okay?
But I did take a risk when it looked like Kayla might be going home, and I bought a Kayla stock, and I'm the only person to own Kayla stock right now, so I have a leg up on you guys with that one. So I have some outs. I
lost 2 Olivias, man. It really was the stock market crash.
That Maddie stock I bought is not worth the price that's printed on, huh?
Oh man. So this HOH is going to be very important because basically if Kayla wins this HOH, I think it's a lock. Dayla has won the game. I think it's done. If one of the trio wins the HOH, then we will be losing one of Derek or Kayla, and the trio does have a shot to make it down to the end. This is going to be the most important HOH of the entire season because, again, there's no strategy left to talk. It's Dayla's never splitting. The trio is never, I would imagine, never going to take Dayla to the end, but with this trio, you never know. But I would imagine that there's nothing left here, right, Kevin? There's not really any.
I agree. Even if Kayla loses this Final 5 HOH, one of them survives into the Final 4, they're still the favorites to win. So much has to go wrong here for either Derek or Kayla not to win Big Brother Canada Season 6.
I think that also just the one fly in the ointment, Taran, would be that if Kayla is evicted at the final 5, if like Derek wins the veto, I think that Derek might be able to pull Will over and say, look, those 2 girls, they're taking each other, man. It's we got to bro down, like you and me to the end, and we'd each have an equal chance. I can see, like, I wanted to tell you this. Will is like the stormtrooper in Star Wars A New Hope when Obi-Wan is like, these are not the droids you're looking for. And he's like, these are not the droids we're looking for. Like, he's so weak-minded. Seriously. He, like, whatever you can talk him into anything. So I really do believe that he would be willing to keep Derek in the game at a Final 4.
Here's Derek's play. If Kayla gets evicted this week, like say he wins the veto, Kayla's going home. Kayla's been pushing that Paris is going to win in the end no matter what for a while now. Have Kayla continue to push. I'm voting for Paris. I'm making sure everyone votes for Paris. Then Derek needs to get Maddie out next because Maddie is the easy goat for both Paris and Will to take to the end. But if Derek manages to eliminate Maddie from the equation, I do think there's a chance that Will decides to take Derek. Derek over Paris, especially after they've talked Paris up as such an endgame threat. I feel like that's the move for Derek next week. Still in the game.
I'm laughing at the chat. Grateful says Will can only win a kiss the cod competition.
That's funny. What are you guys' thoughts on Paris? Because Paris is the most unknown player left for me. She has all these confessionals where it's like she's like, "Girl, I'm running this house," and she's like speaking up such a big game. Are people buying into that, or is this like a little bit of delusion on Paris's part?
It's definitely at least a little bit of delusion.
It's a lot of delusion, definitely.
Yeah.
Melissa, take that question on Paris.
She did control this vote this week, basically, but I mean, other than that, she's really not controlling much of anything. I think that she's really gonna have to pull some big moves if she wants to win. Because right now she's really not doing much of anything, and she really didn't even have a strong position on who should go home this week. She was really one of the main wafflers, and whereas it was Will wanted to keep Allie and Maddie wanted to keep Kayla, and Paris was right in the middle of them trying to figure it out, and she just could not make up her mind. So eventually she was able to make up her mind and convince them, but it was just like, oh my God, Paris, just pick. And it was literally up until the feeds cut that they were still waffling.
Paris crumbled under the pressure of this decision.
That's true.
It's the only true decision she's had to make all season. And we've seen this waffling before, where when Kayla was HOH, she convinced Kayla that Maddie and Johnny were the ringleaders. Then she regretted it, went back, convinced Kayla, no, actually it was Ryan. And so Paris just has she's very indecisive in this game. And I compared it to when Steve in Big Brother 17 was trying to decide between evicting Meg or one of the twins, and he was up all night vomiting, and Paris was literally but instead of doing it by herself and hiding it, where Steve pretended he was always loyal to Vanessa, Paris was back and forth and giving me promises, and oh my God, I don't know promising. And here's the thing, and this is one of the reasons why I think the trio has really lost a lot of their votes, is because Paris, right before the vote, promised Allie, I guarantee you I'm voting to keep you. And that's why Allie was so pissed on her way out the door. Because Kevin, if somebody told you that right before they're about to vote, you'd be pissed, right?
I wouldn't care very much.
Well, yeah, Kevin. I forgot who I was asking that question to.
I think a lot of people would be salty about it for sure. And Big Brother Canada season 5, I'm trying to think. I've in many ways forgotten small details from my season. I never watched the actual the show of season 5. One day I will, but there wasn't very many true blindsides. I think we truly blindsided Emily, but basically almost every other person, and correct me if I'm wrong, kind of knew that they were going home. It is pretty rare in Big Brother that you get a true jaw-dropping blindside. And yeah, it's very easy to sit in the jury house and want to vote the other way because you were lied to seconds before going out the door.
Yes. All right. So we've got these 5 left in the house. Well, let's briefly talk about Olivia, because we haven't talked a lot about her. We all mentioned, Olivia's the person we all lost a bunch of stock on. Brent, you lost, I believe, 3. Melissa, I think you lost 2 in Olivia, maybe 1. And I lost 3 as well, because we all thought Olivia was safe here. There was no reason for Olivia to go home, because as we mentioned, it was kind of the smarter move for Dela to keep Olivia in the game and take a shot at the trio. So, Kevin, do you have an idea? What do you think, Olivia? Where do you think Olivia went wrong here?
I mean, she's amazing television, by the way. What an incredible cast. When I saw her bio video and the first episode or 2, I didn't really understand it, but some of her individual moments are absolutely hilarious. Again, as the live feeders, maybe you guys can speak more to it. It seemed like she had I don't care about this game. But at the same time, she was making good strategic moves, and she seemed to be fine with it. I don't know, man. Tell me from the live feed perspective what you guys' take on Olivia. Because again, like a Paris, she's one that I never really got a lot of sense about from the edited show.
Yeah, Matt, who is sitting on the couch next to me, typed in the chat just now, 75 shares of stock in Olivia was lost from the patron group Stockwatch. The most of any player.
Wow.
So huge crash there.
I think, Kevin, she was like a voice of the fans, honestly. She oftentimes would roll her eyes at people that I would roll my eyes at, or she would say things to people that I would want to say things to if as I'm watching the feeds. So she was a little bit of a truth teller in sort of I hate to say catty way because she's not catty. She's just honest, and she won me over. Like this was honestly, Kevin, the girl who for the 2-3 weeks of the season, I was like, how did they even put her on the show? Like she is like what are they seeing that there's nothing here to see? And then it became evident to me that like the vacantness of her at times is so compelling, and thus
she's so funny.
I just fell in love with her. I really
Hilarious.
did. Yeah.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah,
she's just so brutally honest. It's so great. She's not afraid to say literally whatever's on her mind, and it's awesome.
Yeah, and I think ultimately where Liv goes wrong is that as great of a character as she was, her gameplay, her strategy was not exactly top notch. She's actually probably one of the least strategic players left in the house, maybe after Will. I
disagree. I think she's good at strategy. I thought that
she was wanting to go to the end with Johnny.
Yeah, but I feel like she was making good moves and aligning herself with people that she needed to align with at the time. I don't know if she would actually go to the end with Johnny, but I think it was important for her to be with a strong person, especially thinking that Allie might be leaving.
I
don't know. I see where she was going with all of her strategy. And I think that like a lot of people wanted to keep her around up until the whole blow up with like Allie and Johnny and her.
I feel like Olivia gives no Fs, and thus she really would have went to the end with Johnny. I really do believe that. Olivia's the kind of person I feel like I can identify with this, is she wants to play a game that she likes. She's not going to play the game that everybody expects her to play, or that is maybe the correct move to make. She's like, I'm going to go to the end with Johnny. I don't care if I lose to him. That's who I want to go to the end with. And, whatever happens, happens. Screw it. That's
so she's a bad Big Brother player is the answer.
Yeah.
If you're self-admittedly willing to make that move. But it's great television,
Yeah, they're compelling. Exactly. The other thing is that I think that she did a bad job as the week wore on. Even the antics, as I said, in the triple eviction tonight, I feel like did her no favors. I mean, if there was ever a question that they were going to put her on the block, she's basically threatening Derek and Kayla and everybody else. Like, you better be hoping that I don't win this HOH. And, maybe you can say the cards are already dealt at that point, and maybe they are. But I feel like if she goes to Kayla and says, even during the day and says, whatever happens, I'm still with you guys, and just tries a little bit of honey with the vinegar, and she didn't. It was all vinegar.
Yeah,
and
it makes it so easy to put someone up when they're like, you better hope I don't win, like then you're like, okay, well now I just won and I'm going to get you out of here.
Yeah, because Kayla has been like talking bad about Paris for 6 freaking days. Finally, on the 7th day, she's like, well, I'm actually going to hold up the deal and take the trio to the final 3. But there was a lot of built-in animosity with Kayla and Derek in terms of Paris. And so I feel like if Olivia put a little bit of honey in when there and tried to work a little bit of magic and tried to make nice with them, then it may have had a chance of working. On the other hand, the reason that we love Olivia is because she doesn't make nice with people. So, you take the good with the bad.
Yeah, and I still think this can all be traced back to the Canada Saves twist, where Allie and Olivia decide
best twist in the world.
There are still people that blame you for that, Kevin.
Oh my! I really got a lot of angry tweets about that. I mean, I thank you guys. You guys give me a lot of credit. All you have tweeted me. I promise I don't have that much pull.
That's how we felt in Big Brother Over the Top.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all your fault, RHAP.
Oh my God, so much hate.
But really,
this year was proven that RHAP does not have that much influence.
We have no power.
I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. Poor girl. She got the really bad treatment. Really, really tough go for Kirsten.
Not even a hug. Not even a name pronounced correct.
And didn't Arissa? Yeah, Arissa said her name wrong. She said Kristen, correct?
Yep.
That's so bad.
That's tough.
Yep. But we don't talk about that. That's the sunken place, Kevin.
Yeah, it really is.
But Allie and Olivia's decision to let Erica go in that twist eviction, I really think was a poor decision, even for Allie, who was losing trust with Erica, but especially for Olivia, who both Erica and Johnny wanted to take down all the way to the end. It did not make much sense for them to go along with that, and that twist. The way that Erica went out, it really was the start of everything that followed, which made for amazing feeds, to be fair, thanks to Johnny. But that was, yes, Doom says, the turning point in the game. Allie and Olivia had all the power up until that point. They basically ate away at their own power, and they left that trio alone. That Will was sitting up there on the block, and Will just sent them home. So, or Willow was at least one of the people that sent them home. So, I really feel like that's where their game started to go downhill. And Allie just continued to make it difficult for her own campaign to stay. And honestly, even keeping Johnny the way that they did was not the greatest for them, clearly, as Johnny ended up nominating one of them. So, this just, the Ding Dongs lived up to their name, unfortunately.
I love it that Arista did bring out his Butterfly of Death nickname. I think Olivia was like, what?
Yeah. Butterfly of Death and the Ding Dong.
Hey, can we talk about the catacombs and the tomb? Do we think anything is coming of this, Taran? It's getting awfully late.
I don't think so.
They usually shut down the Have Not Room Final 5, right? Correct? That's when our little T-Rex bone structure was shut down.
But Arista said at the beginning, I mean, unless I think there were a couple of times in Big Brother 17, 18 where like they said they were going to do things and then they just didn't. But Arista did say at the beginning of the season, a ghost lurks within the tomb. Well, we haven't seen any ghost or anything of the tomb thus far. So I think there's still a chance that Monday she could come on. Of course, she's not on the Monday show, is she?
No.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're done. I don't know. Never. Big Brother Canada never surprises me though. I'm just certain that something's happening with that. Oh well.
I don't think so. I think they used it for Marcia, and I think that's all there was to it. I really do.
All right.
So let's start taking some questions. So let me know if you have any questions in the chat, and I'll start scanning on Twitter as well. Jemima on Twitter wants to know if Kayla wins HOH, who out of the trio will she and Derek target? That's an interesting question. Melissa, do you have an idea on this question?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, I feel like it's either Paris or Will. And I think it comes down to.
Oh,
did you just freeze?
You lost her.
But everybody's gotten kicked off at least once tonight.
It comes down to nothing, Brent.
I know, right?
Sorry.
Melissa, you're back. Repeat what you just said because we didn't hear any of it.
Yeah, well, I basically just started talking and then said, I think I'm frozen.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I think that there's a chance that Will may not actually be in. I think he may not be one of the possibilities here because I think Kayla would like to placate Derek. So, and Derek would like Will to remain in the game. And so I don't know. I think that they could target Paris. They still have that animosity towards Paris. I know it was sort of, papered over a little bit with this feel good triple eviction. They all survived. Yay, us. But, it's every man for himself or woman for herself now. And I feel like that they may get rid of Paris here.
Yeah, I think it'll come down to the veto too. Cause I feel like they're not going to want to pick a target and tell them like you're my target or anything like that. They're just gonna say like, look, we have to put two of you up. We already put Maddie on the block, triple us and Will, and then we'll see what happens with the veto. And then after the veto happens, then they'll actually target someone. But I feel like they're not going to say it right off the bat.
Yeah, I think they may even leave Paris off the block initially because remember in Final 5 when there's a twosome and a threesome, there's always that chance that, Kayla wins HOH and nominates Will and Paris. If Maddie wins veto, she can take down Will and have the votes to get rid of Derek. So I think they have to be very careful about who they leave off the block in that scenario if Kayla does win HOH.
At the Final 5, their only consideration should be who is the weakest competitor, and that's the person who got left off the block. For example, in season 3, they left Peely off the block because if Peely won veto, she could save either Zach or Ashley, right? You need to leave the weakest competitor off the block because if Kayla wins HOH, puts two people up, and that person off the block wins veto, it's disastrous, and they can actually send Derek home. So I think they have to nominate Will and Paris probably.
Final 6, by the way.
Yeah, because I would have said that Maddie is the weakest competitor. Although, like this recent performance in the veto competition, she was she did pretty well. So I don't know. It's hard to say who's the weakest at this point.
Yeah,
I think Paris might be the weakest.
Right? Yeah.
Well, we'll get the letters, Kevin. You don't understand. I'm not trying to intentionally make you look bad.
No.
We get the mail, and the people like, you said that wrong on the podcast. Yeah, exactly.
Well, Kevin, do you think that that there'll be any kind of John Netta kind of situation here where Kayla actually wants to target Will because of his relationship with Derek? She thinks, well, Derek, and this is also something what happened with Emmett and Jillian, where they were kind of like, well, you have this person and I have this person, so I actually want to take this person out, which I do think gives Kayla some incentive to take Will out, thinking, well, Will will take Derek over me. Do you think that might come into play?
A little bit, but I think Derek and Kayla should look at the other three and say, who is the most likely to beat us in the backyard? I think that's really what it comes down to. And of those three, if I had to rank them in competition threat, it would probably, I mean, they haven't won anything. It's tough to rank people because they're all duds in the competitions. But I would probably guess that it would be Will, Paris, Maddie. So I would go after the top dog in the competitions first, but he hasn't won anything. It's quite an interesting situation.
Kevin, Robert Martin on the podcast tonight to rank 3 losers, ladies and gentlemen.
Although, to be fair, Paris has come pretty close to winning a lot of endurance competitions.
Yeah,
but I don't think endurance happens at the final 5. I think it's all different competitions.
Even the final 3, like, quote unquote endurance isn't that much. It
doesn't matter. It's the final. It's the buzzer. It's the final 2 trivia that matters more than the first 2 comps.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I do think that Paris is probably the best person to keep in terms of competition prowess. And Maddie, I think, is better at questions. Will is obviously going to be better at physical things. So it really just comes down to that. But if I'm Kayla, I'm evicting Will. I think he's good enough at competitions, and he's much more likely to take Derek to the end than me. So I'm going to be targeting Will, and I'm going to be trying to get Derek on board with that, because I don't think Derek is going to be on board with that. And that might lead to some amount of intrigue on the feeds, Brent.
But I think Derek is like, I don't know. I feel like Kayla can explain it to him and be fine. Like, I don't think it would really break anything.
Yeah. I mean, Derek is usually a pushover when it comes to Kayla.
Yeah.
Yep. Even though they have no chemistry together, but yeah, whatever.
There's none. There's none on this. And I see the clips from the live feeds, and there is absolutely none. But on the show, it's still a thing, and they're trying to make it the show. It's quite hilarious.
Kevin, you haven't lived until you've listened to a live feed podcast in the morning where Taran is trying to tiptoe around the reasons why they may not have the best chemistry together. So
yeah. I talked about it with Peely on one of our morning updates.
We listen to him all the time. Peely never misses one. I catch Peely's 1 or 2 amazing. A week, but Peely listens to every Taran update every morning.
I love Peely. I love her. So let's see. From Wolf and Thief on Twitter, Kevin, out of this final 5, in what order do you think the remaining should win?
Should win?
Yes.
Okay, so
most deserved.
Most deserved, or most like would be the most satisfying to the audience. Probably Kayla. Not very often. I mean, in Big Brother Canada, you do get these alpha females who make great television. I think Kayla is up there. I think Kayla would be the most satisfying win, to be like, wow, this girl really went in there. It wasn't smooth the whole way, but she really battled. And besides that, Derek, anyone from the trio, I guess Paris would be in 3rd. And then a Maddie win would probably be 4th. And the least satisfying, if I watched the finale and watched Will win, I'd be like, okay.
Oh my God. It would ruin a great season.
So that's my top 5 in terms of like who would be the most satisfying. So number 1 would be Kayla, then Derek. Number 3 would be Paris. Number 4, Maddie. I'm happy for Maddie. Number 5, Will. Even Will, I could get a little bit of happiness for, but it would be as Brent says, the darkest timeline probably.
Yeah, I could definitely be happy for Maddie because she's such a huge fan of Big Brother. I mean, she's like us. She loves the show. But yeah, Kayla, she's a freaking goddess, man. I mean, like I often say, like, if you can turn my head, I feel like you're just a stunning creature, and she is just gorgeous. And beyond that, she's so smart and articulate and strong and opinionated and bitchy and fiery. Like, I just love Kayla.
I love Kayla.
I know a lot of people out there don't, but she's like a softer version of Rachel to me, you know? I don't know. Maybe it's a bad analogy.
Softer Rachel.
Yeah, a little bit softer. Just a little bit. Yeah.
I have a question for Kevin. Kevin, going in, if you were to be on this season, who do you think you would have worked with, or who would you have liked to have teamed up with?
Ooh, very interesting. Probably Johnny. I probably would have had a little good relationship with Johnny. I mean, I get along with the gays on Big Brother. That's what I do. But besides that, he would probably be one of my closer allies. Females, I mean, there's like, I think I would get along with Paris and Kayla and a lot of the young, fiery females for sure as well.
Yeah,
But
Kevin.
I mean, I've fully retired from reality television. I had a good years. As soon as I won season 5, I'm like, that's it. The jersey's up. I'm done. I'm moving on with life. So those questions don't really stay
right off into the sunset. Kevin, the chat room would like you to respond to the shade thrown your way by Maddie.
Oh my God, that was incredible. So what, Matt? Just can you guys repeat what Maddie said?
So
She
Matt, said something along the lines of like, I did it, I survived the triple. That's better than what Kevin managed to do.
His first time.
His first time.
I don't even understand it. I don't even understand where, like, was she trying to compliment me or give me a shout out or actually shade me?
If we can get the exact quote in the chat, that would be great. Because it did feel like a little shady.
But it sounded like fun shade. Like it sounded like flirt shading. Like she was just like shading you. Just
she is a big fan.
Yeah, she's a huge fan. Exactly.
I mean, I can't wait to meet her. I fired out like a little shady tweet back at her. I thought it was hilarious, man. I already made a cameo this season, and now they're talking about me. It's like, girl,
how much was that? Oh, well, yes. Let's talk about that. So you they put you out there, and it's your triple eviction when you fell down. Luckily, you're on the ground. Although freaking Sabrina had to hold her finger up in their hair the entire time. So you're trying to maintain your composure, but at some point you just sort of give up and start giggling right
away.
Yeah.
So initially, production kind of had me standing on the side with one of the pieces. They had me kind of getting out of the ball pit, and then I was like, guys, this is hard. Like I can't do this for the 15 minutes or whatever. And then they had me lying on the ground. It was cool to talk with. I've never met Sabrina before. She's a queen. She's very fun to meet her.
Freaking queen.
If she was on season 5 as part of the Second Chances, it would have taken it to another level. But it was really cool. We weren't allowed to talk to the house guests at all. They made adamant rules, like don't say anything. They're like, we're supposed to be sculptures, and I couldn't keep a straight face. And then the girls were like going wild.
They were squealing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, to be honest, they've been locked in there forever. They're sexually frustrated. If you could have put anybody in that backyard, and they would have went wild. It had nothing to do.
Humble doesn't become you. Come on.
I'm pretty sure the conversations afterwards were Derek was like, I mean, it's all right. I understand.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Kayla has said some really interesting things on the live feeds, especially about Peely and like the relationship and stuff. It's been I give everyone a pass though in the house. It's an interesting environment, and I'm excited to meet all of them for sure. Kayla is so alpha, and I'm really cheering for her to take the whole thing down.
Yes,
definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Kayla is probably the best player left in the house. We were talking about it's pretty great that she managed to save herself. Obviously, she did have a massive assist by Allie, but regardless, she did manage to survive here. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to fault her too much for being so close to being evicted when Johnny is her competition, right? Like, this is not a situation of like, oh, she messed up so bad that she was almost evicted. It's, oh, she got outplayed by one of the better players we've seen, I think, on the show so far. So hard to fault her too much, and I definitely feel like Kayla is the best player left in the house. And I do think it might be Derek next, although I do think that I don't want to undersell Paris too much. But man, she really waffled over the course of these last few days, and it ended up being beneficial because she ended up pulling the true deal out of Kayla and Derek.
Right.
But I feel like she lost so many jury votes on the way that it's hard. It's hard to see her moving forward, especially with these competitions left. So
correct that the HOH is tonight, and we're gonna find the spoiler out in a little bit.
We're not sure that we're going to get feeds, though. Has there been an announcement in regard to the feeds, Taran?
I don't know. I've been off Twitter all day.
It's dicey, Kevin. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, this truly is the most important 24 hours in the entire game, in my opinion. You can, like in my case, I went into the triple, and then a couple hours later, I won the final 5 HOH. I went from final 8 to final 4 in the matter of 3 hours. I jumped a huge space in the game, and a bunch of these people are going to as well. So this 24 hours between the triple HOH competition, the triple veto, and then the final 5 HOH, this by far is the most important 24 hours that we're going to see all the year. So I'm going to be looking for the spoilers very soon, hopefully. I'm cheering for the Kayla win. Come on, Kayla, harness it.
Seriously, please.
Hey, Taran, I have a question from you from my friend Cecile, my figure skating buddy on Twitter. She says, Taran Armstrong, with Johnny out of the house, where does he rank in the list of the best players of Big Brother Canada?
It's a tough question. I do think he's up there. I think he's in the conversation. I think that when we talk about like ranking the best players of Big Brother Canada, I think Johnny is at least in the top 10. I think that's an easy list to crack. So I don't think that's a very controversial.
A little bit shade at all the alumni out there.
Well, there's only been 6 seasons now. It's a lot harder to crack the Big Brother US top 10 with 20 seasons on the record.
Is it though? With all those recruits out there, is it really?
Well, look, it's not like it's just a matter of numbers, right?
Yeah.
Backpedaling.
No, that's look. But I am also saying that I think that the game of Big Brother Canada makes it hard for good players to stand out. Players like Mitch, like Johnny, who probably would have gone a little bit further without some twists in the game. We don't get to see their full potential sometimes. And so it's harder to say with definitive ability, like, oh, this is a great player, because we saw potential that went unfulfilled because of something that was completely out of their control.
Do we feel like that? I feel like Mitch's screw over was by far anything worse than anything that happened to Johnny, because he was always the number one target going into this triple eviction. If it had just been a regular double, he still goes up on the block, still loses the veto, still gets evicted.
He was. Let's make it clear. Johnny was not screwed by the triple eviction. Okay. Johnny was going to go whether it was a double or a triple. Obviously the thing that hurts Johnny is losing Erica a couple weeks ago. But he managed to recover from that, and then unfortunately fell victim to it. Obviously, I think the only part of the only reason that Johnny was a little bit screwed over was the fact that he was the outgoing HOH. That's just bad luck, and it happens all the time. So definitely not, in my opinion, screwed over by the triple eviction.
He really was, though, in some ways, because he knew that it was coming up. I mean, just so you know, Kevin, they were joking earlier on the feeds today about like having to act surprised when Arissa came on and told them about the triple eviction. So they knew this was coming at 8.
How?
Because how did they know?
I mean, you can suspect and stuff, but did something leak?
Well,
They were so sure of it.
So sure of it. They've been talking about it for like 3 to 4 weeks now. I think they just, like, Taran, correct me if I'm wrong, from what I've seen on the feeds, they just took it as a given at some point that it was going to happen based on how much time is left in the game. They felt like they had to get rid of some people. And last year it happened at 8, because after the final 8, final 7. So the HOH can't play in the veto. And, that's the way it happened again this year. So.
And Lane points out in the chat the trio's decision was influenced by the triple. That's for sure, but they all knew it was coming. I think in terms of like why Johnny lost, I think first it's the Canada saves twist. I think that hurt him the most, and then second, the bad luck of Derek of all people winning the veto. I think that
was so unlucky
because he was. If that hadn't happened, I think Johnny survives even the triple because Derek is out and Derek doesn't win that HOH, and none of the stuff that happens, and Johnny is set up much better in the triple eviction. It took a lot of really bad luck, I think, for Johnny to be put in the situation he was, and I think it was very impressive that he managed to do as well and last as well as he did, or last as long as he did in the game, and that's why I would still rank him pretty high. But again, unfortunately I don't think we can add him to the list of the greats because that potential is still unfulfilled. Let's see. We have a question from Doomed. This is another decision. Do you think Johnny should have thrown the HOH to Paris? This HOH that he won, it was between him and Paris. He could have thrown it. He had a decent idea that was a pretty good idea that the triple was coming. I talked about this with a few different people. I think most of us agreed you probably want to win this HOH after the week that Johnny had, and then take your chances in the triple because of everything that went on. But Kevin, what do you think in this situation? You're obviously somebody that went for the win every time on Big Brother Canada 5. In this spot, there's probably a triple coming up and you're going to be in trouble for that. Do you throw this HOH?
I went for the win every time in the second half. In the first half, we definitely tossed a lot of those competitions. I think winning is the correct play. Like in Survivor, anything you can do to make it 3 more days, anything Big Brother to ensure the next week. So many dynamics could change. If you're throwing the final HOH in the second half of the game, it gets a little bit too cute. Johnny's demise happened because of a couple unfortunate factors, but I think him winning the HOH was the correct play.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been way worse had he like decided to throw it and then gone out. Because that would have just been devastating. Like he could have won it, he could have stayed in, and then chose to throw it and then happened to be evicted that week. So I feel like this is less painful in a way.
Yeah, by the way, I wanted to say really quickly, Taran, I saw the look on your face when I was talking about the tomb. Apparently, Marcia was in the tomb or something. See, I didn't watch the episode last night because I wasn't on a recap. So, I was on the show and I'm traveling, as you can tell, I'm at my sister's house. So I did not watch the episode last night and Taran, the episodes have been freaking awful. So I was like, I'm not going to miss anything. I know exactly what happens. And then the chat room is like, well, bitch, Marcia was in the tomb last night. So what are you talking about? So yeah, apparently something happened. And so that's what I get for not watching. I got caught red-handed.
Andrew, you missed the mummy moose?
No, apparently.
So yes, send in some more questions. We'll try to take a few more before we start to wrap this up. Do you guys have any other thoughts before we start to talk endgame here?
Fun thought. Oh, go ahead.
We all
No,
like
Kevin, we talk all the time. Go ahead. It's you for
it was fun to watch a triple eviction. This is the first triple eviction that I have not been involved in. It was intense. I get what you say, Taran, about the final five game is almost solved. I don't know how much strategy, how much wiggle room there is left at the final five. But man, that was a good episode. I was yelling, I had goosebumps, I was screaming, and I think it was overall a great 42 minutes of television. I think Big Brother Canada nailed this one. I know people have been complaining about some edits before, especially a lot of live feeders are upset with Johnny not getting credit and some other stuff, but they knocked this one out of the park, I think.
Yeah, Taran, I'm coming around on the triple, I have to say. As someone who loves Big Brother for what it is, the TV show first and the game show second, I feel like that it gives me what I want. I mean, anything could have happened tonight. Any of these people could have gone home. I went into the episode tonight really, really nervous. And I was like telling my sister, I'm like, literally anything can happen. And that's usually not how I feel going into double. I usually, I think maybe Judd going home in 15 was the first time I was just like, what the F? But usually I generally know what's going to happen if so-and-so wins HOH or if this person wins HOH. So tonight was I'm thinking that I'm coming around on it to the point where the invoice might be worth the price that we're paying, but it's close.
I think that if it was a double eviction, that would be just as exciting. I don't think we need the triple. Like, we could just keep it as a double and I'd still be just as excited. Honestly, this was such a fun episode and also a very nerve-wracking episode. I felt like I was shaking the whole time. I was like, what the heck is going on? All day at work, I couldn't focus because I was thinking about this, which is like crazy, because I was just watching the feeds being like, oh my God, who is going home tonight? I have no idea. I had absolutely no idea going in who the trio was going to vote to keep or evict. I had no idea whether Kayla was going to stay in or Allie was going to stay in. It was a great episode and I had so much fun watching it.
Well, like here's my pitch, right, for the triple. I do agree with Brent. I think this made for fantastic television, and I think this episode, I think the editing for it was fantastic. I think that
really was.
We obviously missed a lot of the back and forth, but we didn't need it. Most of it was useless anyway. I did miss the "I am a public speaker" line. I really wanted to see that. But I thought that it really, like, I was astounded that they managed to get that footage for the triple eviction, and the way that they were able to set it up, the ominous music, I thought it was fantastic. I do think, and again, I've talked before, like watching Kevin's triple eviction in Big Brother Canada 5, I was screaming and having a heart attack. I was screaming
for different reasons.
Yes, and that's why I set up the Twitch stream to watch us,
Kevin.
because like the reaction to the triple is so visceral, and so I do agree that I like that there is something here, but I don't like what it does to the strategy. My proposal is just have two doubles in a row. We've talked about this before. I think it has the same effect. Anybody could have gone home in two straight doubles. And it also, like, at one point in the triple, as soon as Johnny doesn't win the veto, the episode's over, right? Yeah. But if there's two doubles, then there's action all the way through.
She almost did that tonight. She's like tiptoed over that line, Taran, when she was like, what if I told you tonight was a quadruple? It's just
amazing
like,
troll. Oh, it was the best troll ever by Arissa.
It really was, yeah. You know that's coming sometime. Oh my god,
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Well, like, and again, like you can still call it a triple because 3 people will still be leaving.
Yeah.
It's just it makes for a better strategy, and it makes for I think it would still make for a better television to do this as well. Obviously, it requires a little bit more work. You have to make another like an extra competition, but that's fine. Not every competition has to be the most elaborate setup.
We could play the same competition over.
Yeah, even that would be more exciting, I think.
Can you imagine? Okay, go back to your blocks. Okay, now Derek
try
is
one more
ineligible.
time.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Didn't we do that in Big Brother 16 where they did the rewind week and Frankie
Yes.
Grande had to play the same spoon competition twice?
Oh yeah.
Yes, Frankie won the first time, right? And then what's his face? Cowboy won the
Caleb
second
won
time.
the second time. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, by the way, every time we've talked about Big Brother US this podcast, we've all like we've kind of grown. The Canadian product is just so much better and so much more enthralling.
Well,
They
it's
really
certainly
need to cast
tonight.
like it.
Certainly tonight.
It
I don't know about
has
the rest of the
some
season.
misses. There are some great things about it, but I think each has its own positives and negatives.
I think what they bring in terms of casting and
Yeah, the
what
casting.
has
The
been on the
casting is
live
better.
feeds
I
has
agree.
just been fantastic. We did get a question. I think it was from Stacked. I apologize if it was from somebody else in the chat who wanted to know, Kevin, how's your PTSD going for triples? Are you cured?
It's gravy, man. As soon as we won that veto, it's just like if I was a triple double evictee, I wouldn't even be on this podcast right now.
I was
I'm
so
just kidding.
happy when you won that. I was so thrilled.
Thank you. I was too. I was so happy. There was something to say to go on and win and close out the story, but like honestly, I feel like it brought so much closure because I really struggled with it after season 3. It was really a tough moment for me. And to close it out in season 5, now I loved it, man. I'm so happy that I can look at triple evictions in a positive way.
It was such a great redemption story.
Yeah. Are you gonna reach out to Johnny and have a little triple support
Of
group?
course. So who are the? The victims have been
Johnny
Kevin,
Liv,
Willow,
the French
Trey
Connection, and
William.
Yeah.
And now Olivia and Johnny. It's a special group, triple eviction evictees.
Yeah.
Poor Johnny, man. It's like, oh, we've lost this great character. Well, the show is almost over. Like we got enough of him that it's not a huge disaster.
Right.
But he was amazing.
So many people wanted the storybook ending. They really wanted him to just, because it was. I wanted the all LGBT final 2. I wanted Erica and Johnny in the final 2. And then when Erica went away, I sort of lost a little bit of my love for Johnny because I don't know. I found him to be insufferable at times, and I started really standing Kayla and Paris. And obviously, there can only be one at the end, Kevin. So you got to kind of pick a horse every now and then. So
I hear you.
I don't know.
I just I do mourn for the loss of what we could have had, which was Johnny and Dela and Paris in the final 5 all together. And I do think that Johnny was still a favorite there, but it wouldn't have been easy. They wouldn't have made it easy for him with Dela still there, with Paris still there. And I think it would have made for a fantastic finish, and we'd still probably have a fantastic winner. It's unfortunate that we lost Johnny and that we lost that great final 5. But, what I told the people that were upset in the Twitch chat, just be grateful for the season that we've had so far. Even if you aren't happy with this result, I think that we can be very pleased with, even if you're not a fan of the edited episodes, just what we've been able to watch on the feeds all season long. This week has been incredible. Last week was incredible. There have been so many great weeks. This cast has been so amazing. I'm very, very happy with this season from my perspective, because I am a feed watcher. I am just I'm as high as Sebastian on Survivor, Melissa.
No, I totally agree. This has been such an amazing season for feeds. It's been so fun, so great. I love the majority of the people who were cast on this season, or at least I love watching them. And so it's been so amazing. And I just feel like as I was watching tonight, it was like I was checking the box of like the things I wanted to happen. So it was like Kayla stays. Yep, box checked. Derek wins HOH, box checked. And then I was like, okay, the final box is Johnny winning this veto. And then Johnny did not win the veto. And I was just so sad because that would have made for an amazing night, is to have the 3 pillars of strategy. We've got Johnny, Kayla, and Paris in the final 5. That would have been amazing.
Yes. So we're heading toward the finish here. It'll be very exciting. Unfortunately, the feeds have still not come back, so we won't be able to update you on a winner of the HOH. Kevin, do we have Peely?
Yes, we're gonna make a little Peely cameo here. Come say hi, Pilar.
Yay.
Feeds
You've
are
done
back.
triple evictions. You survived one.
All right, let's get Peely's
Yeah, what are your
thoughts.
thoughts? Summed up quickly. We're wrapping it up here, probably.
Hi guys.
We'll
What do you
quickly
think about
we'll
the
quickly
triple
get Peely's
eviction?
thoughts, and then we'll update on the live feeds.
It was a
Taran, you're having a party.
crazy episode.
Let's get Peely close to the mic.
I don't have a whole lot to say. It was a crazy episode. We were fired
Wow.
up. I was sweating buckets.
Oh yes.
You jumped up at one point and you like hit my. You
I hit his
She kind of like
leg.
jumped up when Johnny lost the video. No! And
I
then
was upset.
Yeah.
Triples are always like a sped up week, so
Yeah.
shit goes down.
What are your thoughts
And
on?
eventually, I'm sure they'll what?
What are your thoughts on Maddie? Because the people who have survived triples by the vote are you in season 3, Dylan in season 5, and now Maddie in season 6.
She is. What are my thoughts on her? What are your thoughts on her, Kevin? After
It's
she
gonna be-
threw some
she's-
shade
we-
at you.
We talked about that. It's going to be really hard for her to win.
It's going to, yeah.
It's
She's
gonna be
like,
almost impossible.
she's either playing for second place 100% or she's playing for third.
20K is
or
20K
even
though.
worse than that. But yeah, she's definitely not getting the W. I think Kayla's gonna get it. Even like Kayla versus Derek, Kayla's done all the work mostly.
Yeah,
And
I
she's
agree.
a huge alpha female. I honestly, as I know, she said some not great things on the feeds about me and our relationship and whatnot. But you know what? It is a game, and the game gets to you. It's hard ahead. So I'm gonna give her a chance, and I am, with emotions aside, I will give her a chance, and I am rooting for her.
Yes, we were just asking Kevin if he was if his PTSD from triples has been cured. What about you?
They haven't.
Was it?
You
Were you
guys every
still?
night before going to bed. Yeah, honestly, it did not affect me in a lot, like whatsoever. Obviously, I survived it, and no, it did not affect me. I mean, my partner in crime left the game in one of them, but no, it was all good. You know what? I had a really good experience despite of the triple, and no, it did not affect me whatsoever. I was like Maddie, I survived it, so I was happy with the results.
Yes, but how was this compared to watching Kevin compete in the triple
To be honest,
eviction?
there's a lot of flashbacks. I was very like sweating and like anxious, even though he wasn't on it this season. But because you can put yourself into their shoes, into their situations, like how anxious they're feeling, how nervous. Like honestly, when Arisa came back and said it's like quadruple, like jokingly,
Hilarious.
I could see like Paris' face, like she was like stopped, like no way, like it's. Like you have no idea what's going on. Like it could have been true. Anyway, it's a lot of emotions going on, and
We're talking as the group. I think we're pretty into triple evictions now. It's become a
I think
Canadian brand.
it's a thing now. It's
You know,
a
people
thing.
are very against it. I think it's just put two in next
Put
year.
two in him.
Put two in.
No
Let's
big
go.
deal,
Like
whatever.
it's actually it's amazing television. It's not fun when you're in there though.
Not fun. It's great television, and as a fan, I would love an instant like anything. Throw them at them, but as a player, they effing suck.
Yeah, let's try and keep spoilers out of the chat, guys, if possible. We will be talking about the feeds have come back up, so we'll talk. We'll give you the answer to who won.
No, what is it?
We're not saying yet. We're gonna have to do spoilers. But let's do that now. I want to thank everyone for joining us for the episode recap. This has been a lot of fun. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. I will be speaking with all 3 evicted house guests. Ali first, and then Olivia and Johnny, and it will be very, very exciting. So make sure you check that out. I'm sorry if I spoiled anyone that just walked into Podcast House.
Taran,
It's
from
your fault for
Kevin-
walking in.
sorry to interrupt.
Yes, go ahead.
From Kevin and I, tell the 3 victors from tonight, whenever you talk to them, that we love them and we support them.
I think Taran has strict rules though when you're doing the
I would
exit
love to,
analysis,
but
they're
I
in
actually
jury.
that's
sorry.
that's
Okay,
a
that's
specific
fair,
rule that I'm
that's
not allowed to.
They don't really give you interviews any
I'm sure you'll see them at finale and you'll be able to let them know. But yes, I will be speaking with them tomorrow, and we will of course update you on everything on the live feeds tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Again, live from Podcast House, and of course tune in Monday night. Rob will be live to recap the Monday night episode. Do we have a quick hashtag for the episode recap portion of this podcast? Let me know in the chat. Do we love triples? Is that what it is, Brent?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think nobody can even concentrate on that when we're getting feed information, Taran.
I don't think we need a hashtag here. I think we can finish it out later. So let's wrap this up. We're going to go into spoilers here. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. I'm at Armstrong Taran. Brent is at One Lucky Gay. Melissa's at It's Melissa with 3 A's. You can follow Kevin at Kevin Rob Martin, I believe, on Twitter.
Nailed it.
And what's the Twitch? Kevin.
Just Kevin Martin. Kevin Martin on Twitch. We changed it yet.
Yes.
Playing poker every night, thriving, and life's good.
You
Yes.
are really streaming. He's killing it.
So when you come and watch me on Twitch, you can go watch Kevin, because
I just followed Taran on Twitch. He streams video games. He was streaming.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the follow.
I want to help the little guy Kevin out with some followers on Twitch and just send some people his way.
That's amazing.
Make sure you check out Kevin on Twitch. He is amazing at what he does.
Yeah, he is.
All right, so let's talk spoilers. We're into spoiler territory. If you're in Podcast House, that applies to you as well.
Please,
You don't wanna be
please.
spoiled.
We're doing spoilers.
Just please for your thumb.
We have an HOH winner, I believe. It's been going back and forth a little bit, but I believe our HOH winner is Kayla.
Get out of here! Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding?
She's gonna win out. She's got it. Oh my god! I gotta go pee.
I'm so happy.
No, she is going to win this thing.
I hope so.
Oh, yeah, she like. How could she not at this point? Like,
Yeah.
what could happen?
Well, let's just keep hoping that that's
Oh my
true.
God, yeah. It's not just it.
This is it. I think Dela. This thinks that Dela. One of Dela has won the game. I believe. I'm gonna make that
100%.
call 100% here. With Kayla, Paris is apparently on the feeds crying, saying she regrets her decision to keep Dela in the house. They're in deep trouble, Brent.
Yeah, but I mean, she's looking at it from a results-oriented point of view, which I have a lot of experience with, by the way. I mean, like, come on. I mean, she kept her because she wanted to survive the triple eviction. That was the whole point of keeping Kayla, was to survive the triple eviction. Okay, it gave her a greater opportunity to do that. She accomplished that. Then she has to go out there and win a competition. It was 3-on-1, like I said, Taran. Like I said, just like Big Brother Canada 4, where you got your favorites, and then there's one person. Not that Kayla isn't a favorite; she is a favorite of mine. But one person you got to beat, and you can't do it. It was a questions competition, and Paris and Maddie, honey, they did not study. They did not.
They were too busy waffling.
Yeah, they talked about this. They spent all week long discussing all day, every day. Should we keep Kayla? Should we keep Allie? And they even said, we are not studying. And meanwhile, Kayla and Derek, who were on the block, were studying. They were not spending as much time talking about their own eviction. And they spent the time studying, and Kayla has won this HOH. I will say, I think that I do think that the move was probably to evict Kayla, because I do think that Kayla was the odds-on favorite to win this HOH, and I think that the trio, by keeping Dela in the house, really put themselves into a rough spot. But I think it was a rough decision either way.
Yeah,
I don't think it was a huge
close.
mistake either way.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have been personally taken in by those promises that Kayla and Derek were making. I would have seen that Allie wasn't willing to give me anything, whereas Kayla and Derek were saying, like, look, we'll do whatever it takes. We want to work with you. Like, we'll take you to Final 5. And at that point, you're like, I just have to get through the triple. Now, obviously, since they've got through the triple, they're like, yeah, well, we would have gotten through the triple anyway, but who knows if they would have. And I feel like their whole thing was, yeah, well, all we have to do is just get through the triple and get to Final 5, and then we'll just win the rest of the time. Then we'll just win out. And it's like, no, you're not going to. Like, that's not a viable strategy to just say, oh, and then I'll just win. And Will kept saying, like, well, let's act as if we are going to win. Let's not pretend. Let's not be negative and say we're like, what if we don't win? It's like, that's the whole point. You have to say, well, what happens if we don't win? What's the worst case scenario? What should we be planning for in the event that we don't win? And instead, Will just kept shutting them down, saying, like, no, come on, guys, we're going to win. You just have to say we're gonna win and we're gonna win.
It just shows how bad he is at playing, because you saw June, who did an interview with Taran, June song winner BB4, say that if you're going into an HOH saying I have to win this HOH, then you're doing it wrong. So I don't know why he wouldn't even consider what the world looks like. I will just say really quickly, not to throw cold water on Kayla HOH win, because obviously she's into the Final Four. But Derek is not into the Final Four yet. There is a slim possibility that something weird could happen with the veto here, and Derek could go home on Kayla's HOH. Weirder things have happened in Big Brother. I still look back at that BB 17. God, Taran, I always mix them up. 17, where literally Austin and the twins could have run the game from top to bottom if they didn't let themselves get hornswoggled by Vanessa in that Final Six veto competition. They literally could have evicted Johnny Mac and run the game. They would have been the final three, I think. But something weird could happen if they're not careful.
I think the problem is that their odds to beat Kayla were way, way better than their odds of.
I'm just saying.
They had 3-on-1 to beat Kayla in the HOH, and now only one of them out of the 5, because both Derek and Kayla will be competing, and only one of them can win to save all three of them.
You're saying there's a chance.
There's a very small chance, very small chance. It would take a lot. If they got extremely lucky and Big Brother decided to throw whoever is on the outs a bone for the Final 5, and they decided to do a competition like the one in Big Brother 5, where this strategy originated, where they are able to help each other in the veto, then maybe they can pull this off. But they haven't really done that ever since Big Brother 5. They haven't really done a competition where they can help each other out. If you remember in the cage, speaking of Big Brother 5, actually, we'll talk about that's something I forgot to mention. Big Brother 5 with Drew and Diane.
I'm sorry, US. Okay.
Yes. Where they helped each other out through the cages. They gave each other materials to make sure that the right person won the veto, so that they could use it and force Nokomis. Was it Nokomis to send
Karen home?
Karen home, yeah. So it's a possibility, but it's very unlikely, I think, at this point. So it's looking like one of Dela is almost assuredly in the final 3, if not both of them. So the question now becomes, speaking of Big Brother 5, we've talked about a comparison between Derek and Kayla and Drew and Diane in terms of why there's not a lot of chemistry potentially. Is there any possibility that Derek pulls a Drew and cuts Kayla at the end in order to make sure he wins the game? I think no, but does anybody think there's a shot here?
I think he could.
I never thought Drew could. But I was stunned by that one. So I don't know. I think that he's in the house for different reasons. He's in the house for, a little bit of fame, a little bit of followers. I don't know that he could be as cold-blooded to do that. But on the other hand, it is $100,000, and maybe the money could speak to him. I'm not sure. I mean,
he was so thrilled when he won $5,000 in the veto. He might just want to win the money and just go for it.
I think he has a lot attached to his nice guy persona, though. Yeah, so
I agree.
I'm not sure it'll happen.
I would say probably not. I don't think he would.
I think he doesn't need to do it. I think he maybe thinks that he can beat Kayla.
A timeline that I wanted to see from Big Brother Canada 5 is Ika Dimitri final 2. Dimitri wins final HOH. Does he take Karen or Ika? To be honest, post-game show, they said they would have taken each other if they were actually in that's the correct thing to say post-game show. I think Dimitri actually would have cut Ika. I really, really do. He's a smart guy. I think he would have taken the guaranteed win. Of course, that would have been amazing to see. But I think Derek doesn't have that in him, though.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think, as we mentioned, there's not a whole lot of strategy left to talk now.
A veto competition to play. And
wait for the veto. It's really just going to come down to who does Derek and Kayla decide to target of the trio. I think there's definitely a chance it's Will. There's a chance it's all three of them. Who knows? So that will be interesting to watch over the course of the week. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you so much, Kevin, for joining us. You were amazing.
You guys do amazing work. I do miss Alex and I do miss Jordan on the podcast.
We do too.
You guys have amazing chemistry. You guys each bring your own personal thing to the podcast, and it's fantastic. So thank you for having me. I love it.
Yes, very, very excited to have Kevin. Thank you, Brent and Melissa, for coming on, doing the full crew podcast here.
Yeah, it's been great.
Always happy to be here.
Yes, and thank you to the chat for hanging out with us, and thank you to everyone who joined me on Twitch. We had a lot of fun watching the episode together. So we do need a hashtag for this episode. I'm seeing hashtag too many waffles because of all the waffling back and forth. Hashtag stock crash, something along those lines.
They are saying that Paris might be the target, and if that's true, then yeah, my stock is just. That's all I had was Olivia and Paris.
Paris is all you had left. Yeah.
What's the draft update? Who's winning the draft this year?
Yeah, I think it's coming down to me or
It's
Melissa.
hard.
Yeah,
I've got Derek on as Kayla.
Go, Melissa.
Yeah.
Karen, do you win every year in the draft? Is
Yes.
this the thing
Yeah,
that you just?
basically.
He wins almost every year except for one.
Except for
I-
one,
like,
which was Josh
yeah.
and Paul, where he probably should have won, but I'll take it.
Yes. So I mean, if you're thinking about who wins between Derek and Kayla, just think that I have Derek's stock, or I have Derek on my
boy.
draft, and Melissa has Kayla.
Yeah, the person
so-
who never wins anything.
Yeah. I don't know.
I
I feel
hope
like
this
I feel
doesn't
like
mean
you've got a
anything.
shot here. I think
I
you've got a
hope
shot.
so. This has been my best
all right.
chance to win so far.
Yes. Well, thank you again, everyone, for joining us. Again, make sure you tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. We will update you on everything happening on the feeds. And then, of course, I will be interviewing those 3 people who left the game today as they try to plug their ears because they don't want to know because they were busy watching RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes, no spoilers. I have to watch
Check out Brent on the RuPaul's Drag Race.
Should I
podcast.
check that out? RuPaul's Drag Race. Everyone's
It's
talking.
a
about
great
it.
show.
You'd love it, Kevin.
so
It's
fun.
honestly so much fun. It's just like popcorn television. It's so much fun.
Okay, I'll
It's
check
so
it out.
good.
I'll check it out.
Yes. So check out that podcast. Check out the Taran Show. I talked with Ben Driebergen on the Taran Show. We gotta get Peely on the Taran Show soon.
She would love to do it. I met Ben for the first time in Reno. I played poker against him.
Yes.
He's a really cool guy. He's chatted his face up. So
He was great. He
amazing.
was great.
Yeah.
He was great on the podcast.
Found a lot of
highly
idols
recommend
during his season. I wasn't happy with his win.
I was not either, but
The same way that Brent probably didn't like my win. When Ben won, he's a nice guy. But I was like, man, he really found 3 idols at the end, and that twist.
and they just
everything.
happened to be hidden under where he was sleeping. Yeah, but
then,
I've been told I can't really throw shade on that anymore. So
Great guy.
All right. Well, thank you again, everyone, for joining us. For Melissa, Kevin, and Brent, I am Taran Armstrong. Hashtag stock crash. I like that one because the stock market did crash here. We will see you next time.
Peace.